Napa know-how.
It's Love Your Car Month at Napa. And to show your car the love, get a Napa bucket for $2.99 and save 20% on almost everything you can fit inside, like car wash, car wax, and tire shine. So save some cash and look good doing it by getting 20% off with the Napa bucket. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores, exclusions apply. Minimum 3 items may not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 4/30/19.
Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Kev coming with ya on vacation. Where we going? No, I'm coming at you with the message out the bottle. It's not in the bottle anymore. I took it out. Anyways, we are a comedy and crime podcast. Probably can't tell the comedy part from that little bit, but some of the boys are a little bit funnier than this dog. We are a comedy and crime podcast, which means we cover real cases, whether it be murders or mysteries, serial killers, anything and everything. But we do like to mix in some jokes, and sometimes the humor is a little bit inappropriate or at bad times. So if you think comedy and crime aren't supposed to be together, we completely respect your opinion and completely understand. However, this probably is not the podcast for you. So we just want to give you a heads up. Also, it was 4th of July. We had some Coney dogs. After a heart-to-heart discussion with my father, he taught me that the only dog is Coney. Joseph Coney. Hashtag Coney 2012. Why hasn't he been brought to justice? Why are we sleeping on this? Why isn't anyone doing anything? Enjoy the show. Hashtag Wildman. I'm out. Invisible children. Hashtag invisible children.
All right, fellas, like we practiced.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Come on down. Come on down. Hanging with the brothers tonight, yeah. Come on down to the brothers Commonplace tonight.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to the Brothers Commonplace, a comedy and crime podcast where we cover monsters, murders, mysteries, and more, and spooky shit. And today we got a missing persons case, very interesting and very, very strange case. But before we jump into that, I want you guys to all meet some pretty sweet boys.
What's up, guys? This is Tim, or Rascal Flats, as they call me during that wet t-shirt contest.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
I don't know, man. I've seen Rascal Flats live, and they actually have some pretty decent titties.
Oh, fuck
Oh,
yeah, dude.
shit.
I did not know it was a compliment. Thanks, guys. Actually, the only people there were you three, so
Yeah.
thanks.
What up? It's Spence, and I'm just working on my quest to wipe out half of life in the universe by snapping my fingers.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's not going so well yet, but I'm just snapping away.
It's because you have to sacrifice someone you love, so sorry, Toof.
I don't feel so good, Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Sorry, Leah Thompson.
You don't have all the stones yet. Should we just go around snapping all the heads off the dandelions?
Yeah. But in this case, instead of like the 6 stones, I have to get stoned 6 times.
Oh, fuck yeah. Hey, everyone. It's Toof. And, I'm tired of people asking me, what the hell is the Brothers Commonplace? Is it like a mystery podcast, a murder podcast? This is kind of what it's like. It's kind of like a handful of netting, a wing from a bat, a tongue from a snake, and a tail from a rat, a neck from a chicken, an eye from a crow, and just a little bitty drop of Faygo.
Kev actually was just talking about how Andrew's more into the podcast now. Now I know why.
What's funny is, like, your very first question could have been answered by the very first line of every single episode. That was good,
Those
too.
people didn't get that far.
They're like, what the fuck is this?
They just skip the intro. It's like Netflix.
And it's your boy, Kev, and I hope everyone out there had a fun and safe 4th of July. I know I did. Mine was pretty fun until my grandfather showed up unannounced. And he just came storming in. I was like, Grandpa, this isn't fucking Normandy. You're over that phase. You can't keep doing that. You can't keep showing up unannounced. And he was like, oh, grandson, I smelled the food. I thought maybe you could get me a plate. I was like, oh, get you a plate. What is the one in your fucking old forehead not enough, grandfather? And that's it. That's all I had.
Holy shit, dude.
So you want to erase his memories? You stuck a fridge magnet to his head?
Dude, at this point, our listeners are going to start thinking your grandpa's a cat because he fucking I'm pretty sure he's died like 7 times.
And 2 episodes have songs about how much I hate him at the end.
He better not go to one of those junkyards where they have the crane with the magnet on the end.
Oh my god, dude, let's make it happen.
We find out your grandpa's last name is McCormick. Kenny McCormick from South Park. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Alrighty, today we're going to be covering a missing persons case, one that is a little bit different than normal. The person we're going to be talking about is a former high school basketball standout, one that was thought could have possibly been a first-round pick. However, he didn't disappear until the age of 37. The man we are covering today is none other than the former globetrotter, Rico Harris. But before we get into that case, do we want to meet the honorary brother, or do we want to hear the subreddit of the week?
I always say, is it too much to ask for both?
Oh,
Never.
shit.
We only had a choice between one.
No, I just meant like which one first.
Make the subreddit of the day the brother.
Subreddit.
Okay. So far, all right. Subreddit
That's
of the
not
week.
how it works. The subreddit of the week today is r glitch art.
Oh,
It is a subreddit dedicated to data bending, which means on there you can find all kinds of pictures of what happens when programs go wrong, like glitchy things in JPEG files and stuff. Like, it's really neat looking, actually.
Hell yeah.
It's like low res, weird color, any kind of picture that like came out with weird colors,
Like
or
rainbow
things
kind of in a way. Yeah, I've got a lot of porn pictures. It's like green and red.
There
It
you
like
go.
fades halfway through.
Yeah, it does sound like my TV whenever me and Tim were trying to get illegal channels.
illegal channels. This is just a sports show.
Yeah, that
Or no,
that aerial's so hot.
Yeah, so check out
When she's
r
on land.
glitch art.
It was a nature show. I got it
I'll
wrong.
have to look at it and submit my own.
My favorite nature show was the Critter Getters.
Oh fuck yeah,
I
dude!
don't know what that is, but
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
that would've
remember
been
it.
My favorite too.
I remember it.
They
That
were
was a
fucking
good
awesome,
show.
They have a-
especially the Chupacabra
They have a
episode.
fucking clever name, whoever the fuck they are.
So alrighty, now we're gonna go on to our honorary brother of the week. And if you want to be an honorary brother and get a shout out from us, all you got to do is leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, or just reach out to us on social media. The iTunes review kind of helps us out the most, though, because that'll help us get seen on charts and all the good stuff like that. So thank you for everyone that already has left us one.
Please reach out. Reach out and touch faith.
Thanks. Yeah, that was.
Reach out and touch my face.
There you go. Yeah.
That works. Yeah.
So alrighty, honorary brother. The name on Instagram is Your Average Walk.
Nice.
So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Wait. WOK?
Yep.
Asian.
Well, she's not Asian, but
Oh,
She just knew Kevin was.
Load up.
She made her username on it.
Yeah.
So-
Load up the pics.
so stop, Jeremiah. Oh, Jeremiah, grow up. Alrighty, Your Average Walk on Instagram. She sent us a message saying how we had become one of her favorite podcasts. And then she also gave us some information on Carla Homolka,
Oh, nice.
which we mentioned in the Luca Magnotta episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carla Homolka is a pretty fucked up case. And if we ever do an episode on her, Your Average Walk says she would help us out and send us some information because she's done some research on that case.
Nice.
So that's super cool of her. Yeah, she seemed pretty awesome. She sent us some messages on Instagram.
No, it's real nice.
She doctor yet?
Dude, she's not. That's just
There's a huge
Family Guy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a huge chance that she might just like to make stir fry because the guy to my left does, and he had a walk.
Alrighty, anything else before we jump into the case of Rico Harris? Rico Harris, age 37 at the time of his disappearance. He was last seen on October 10th, 2014. He had just left his mother's home in Alhambra in Southern California. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Alhambra.
Alhambra.
And he was relocating to Seattle with his girlfriend, and he was getting ready to meet for a possible job there as well.
And you said he was missing?
That's when he went missing, yeah.
How do they yell for him? Did they yell, Rico? Ricola.
Oh, God, dude. I thought it was going to be something about a Rico Suave joke, so thank you.
Oh, that one's coming too. Don't worry.
So, yeah, you know what has to happen.
So the drive from there to Seattle is around an 18-hour drive, so that's like a super long fucking drive, much like the Happy Gilmore of drives.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, he didn't drive at 400 yards, so.
Hey, you know what else could draw a crowd? What's he say? A golfer?
With a putter sticking out of his ass or something like that. Yeah.
So he was last heard from on October 10th at 10:45 a.m. when he left a voicemail for his girlfriend. And then an hour after that, he turned his phone off, and he was never seen or heard from again.
This doesn't matter, but it was arm sticking out of his ass.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. So that's just a quick summary. We're going to get into a lot more details. I just want to give you guys a heads up of when he went missing. Also, this guy is 6'9" and around 300 pounds.
Damn.
So this missing person case, that's why it's so strange, because it's not like this guy can just blend in anywhere unless he somehow... Now, I was going to make a joke. There's going to be about him getting Wonka television
Oh, yeah.
into the Star Wars like Christmas episode
Fuck yeah, dude.
and hanging out at Chewbacca's.
Wait, is it
Fuck yeah.
possible that maybe he just didn't come back from Moron Mountain?
Space Jam.
Yeah. Like they got him, but like he just never got his talents back.
Oh, God. I hope so, dude.
This is what happened.
Could it just be possible that when he went missing, he changed his name to Tekashi 6ix9ine? It's that stupid fucking 6ix9ine rapper who has like rainbow hair and shit.
Oh my God, dude.
Fucking
Oh
idiot
my
guy.
God.
Dude, for a second, I straight up thought I was going to be like a Street Fighter character.
I thought you were talking. I know it's not him, but I was thinking you were talking about Kobayashi at first.
Oh.
So, alrighty, let's go to the beginning, start talking about Rico's life. He was born May 19th, 1977.
Well, there's the problem right there.
So already,
Yeah,
May
yep,
19th,
yep.
that's a bad omen.
Bad idea.
And if you don't get the joke of that date, then you're not a fucking loser nerd, because it was a wonderful storyline in the WWE.
It was. Fucking so many curveballs, and just it ended like a Shyamalan movie. Everything came together.
Oh, yeah.
They explained it all.
So fucking dumb. His father, Henry Harris, was a former star forward at Idaho State. So Rico, he has like the basketball power running through his blood and in his veins.
His dad didn't go to the NBA though, right?
No.
His brother went into wrestling, though, Husky.
Oh my God.
Husky Harris.
Or no, that's Bray Wyatt. Holy shit.
No, his father went on to play semi-professional ball in L.A.,
Okay.
which is where he would meet Rico's mother, Margaret Fernandez, and she was only 17 at the time.
Nice.
Oh, he actually went semi-pro?
His dad did, yeah.
Did he play with the Tropics?
Fucking movie. That's semi-pro, dude. I was like, it's just a movie.
And his mother would soon give birth to Rico. The family would move to Oregon and then back to L.A., where Margaret would have 3 more kids.
Wow.
And this next part is just how I saw it written in a lot of sources, but they were like, Rico's father was said to be a decent, loving father, but he would sometimes turn violent and abusive. So it's like, that's like an oxymoron.
Wait, you will say, yeah.
He's like beating the shit out of him. He's a good man.
Yeah,
He's fucking beating him.
He was an obese man, about over 400 pounds, but some days he was under 150. So, I mean, we just never knew what we were going to get out of him.
He's just beating the shit out of his kids. He like looks at his belt; it's all bloody. He like puts it around his waist. He's like, "I'm going to Dairy Queen to get you some Blizzards. I'll be back." I'll put my eyeball back in. Thanks, Dad.
But it's like, it sounds like one of those like fucked up cases, like with domestic abuse cases where like the guy beats the shit out of his girlfriend. She calls the cops, and then when the cops go to take him away, the girl fights the cops.
Oh my God!
It's
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty much what it is.
come on.
It's like when LeBron fucking beats our ass and leaves us. We're like, you can always resign in 4 years, please. Come on, buddy. We still like you.
Hey, the banner goes right back up.
Oh yeah, dude, I do like the idea of putting Lindor's up there though, man.
Yeah, that'd be sweet,
Yeah.
dude.
Dude, how funny it'd be when they take the LeBron banner down. They don't even like remove it. They just drop it to the ground and leave it there, then bring it right back up. Just spray it off.
They actually make like a crane where it could just be lifted back up like in like seconds.
What if they like lower that banner, behind it is a Carlos Boozer one? They're like, oh, what the fuck? They lower that. They lower that, and then it's Jose Mesa. They're like, what the shit's going on? They lower that, and it's that guy that held all those girls in the dungeon in Cleveland. I'm just joking. I'm joking. I'm
Leave
joking.
it in, leave
I'm
it in.
joking. That guy is a piece of shit. So,
Hey, dude, Jose only fucked up once, man.
and I'm happy those girls escaped. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Hey, at least somebody escaped the Dungeon of Doom.
Okay. But here's a story about Rico's father. One time when Rico was 17, he sees his dad for the first time in like years. And Henry, he sees that Rico has his ear pierced, so he picks up a hockey stick and smacks it against his chest with it. So it's like,
Dude,
oh,
such
father, I haven't seen you in a couple years. Is that an ear? Is your ear pierced? And then he picks up the hockey stick and just fucking swings it at him.
Such a loving man, dude.
He's a good man.
Seems just like a fucking straight up great guy. It sucks what ended up happening to him at that hockey game, though. And that fucking dude just hit that fucking puck so
the
hard.
knuckle puck?
Dude, it's just gonna be a happy. It's another Happy Gilmore.
shit.
His dad died.
Oh.
It's just another Happy Gilmore
Fuck
joke.
yeah,
Could
dude.
it be possible that he just mistaked his son for a hockey puck?
I mean, yeah.
Did anyone care to ask him?
I don't see a way that that's not
His
possible.
6'8" son. Who the fuck?
Hockey puck? Boom.
And later on, when Rico would try to reconcile with his father Henry was like, "Nah, I'm not really cut out to be a father." It's like, what an asshole.
Oh, man.
He already had 4 kids.
What a late reaction.
He had 4 kids and then decided that.
Wow. Jeez.
Jesus Christ. After 17 years, the only later reaction I could see is fucking Terry Funk's 38th retirement.
Dude, straight up, yeah. I was going to say this guy's slower than Internet Explorer, but yours is better.
It's like Terry Funk saying, you know what? I should retire. It's like, you don't even have fucking working legs anymore, guy.
It's like, dude, you're on your deathbed, bud.
You haven't done anything cool since Roadhouse. Dude, speaking of Internet Explorer, when I was taking my computer classes, my one instructor, every single day, probably like 6 times, he would call it Internet Exploder, and then he
Oh,
would
yes.
pause, and he would do this like little chuckle about it.
Dude, the fuck the things we use that at work.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Did you laugh for extra credit?
Yeah, I did.
Exploder.
It's not the only thing you did for extra credit.
That's true. That's true, but I was a bit of a slut those days. So Margaret, she finally has enough, and she takes all 4 children, and she moves back to Alhambra, which is the suburb where she grew up. And I couldn't find Rico's age at this time, but it sounds like he had to do a lot around the house, like helping raise the kids and being the man of the house while his mother was working full-time. And Rico, he was a big boy. He had good size, and his mother felt as if he was, quote, born to play basketball. However, when Rico was a teenager, and even though he was incredibly talented and good at basketball, he decided he wanted to give that up and become an actor instead. You're going to give that shit up? You're going to concentrate on
Dude,
golf.
that's exactly where it was going, man. Grandma.
Why does... never mind. Okay, we don't have time to keep talking about Happy Gilmore.
Yes, we do.
And there's one thing about Rico that I don't really understand. It's like he's afraid to succeed or something. He makes a lot of questionable decisions, and he constantly gets so close, but then he never quite makes it.
It's like me trying to get laid. With it so close, it's just my hand.
Yeah, dude, and my foot.
Hey,
And my axe.
Oh, yeah.
like to say the Kevin Foote thing. I thought he was asleep, so. And he didn't tell me till midway through that he was awake either.
Yeah,
So
that's true, because I thought you were asleep also. I don't even get I don't know.
I'm trying to make one up where you try to fuck me in the mirror. Because tooth backwards his foot.
Oh, my God. So since
The
he
Tooth
wanted...
Clan was one of the Ninja Turtles' worst
Oh my
rivals.
God, yes.
So since he wanted to be an actor now, he enrolls at Hollywood High School, which didn't seem to help because a year later he once again changes his mind and he wants to play basketball again instead. So he switched high schools and he used his father's address to get him enrolled at Temple City High School instead. And in high school, he was looked at as a top prospect. He was listed with the names such as Paul Pierce, a.k.a. the pants-shitting comeback kid, Chauncey, Mr. Big Shot
dude,
Billups,
holy shit, dude, Chauncey Billups, I forgot all about him.
and Jason, I fucking hate this guy, the Jet Terry.
Oh yeah,
And so, yeah, he was mentioned with those guys. Like, those guys were in high school, and he was compared, like, these are the top guys coming
yeah,
out.
that's
Wait.
pretty awesome.
You really hate Jason Terry?
Yeah.
Cavs for Mavs, bro.
I liked him on the Mavs, and that was it. I hate the fucking stupid jet thing he does. Getting the Celtics tattoo with the championship was stupid.
Yeah, that was a good one, though.
And his junior year of high school, he averaged 29 points and 13.5 rebounds.
Damn.
He was a power forward, but he played a lot of point forward also. His game was sometimes compared to as a Magic Johnson style.
Damn.
And he reminds a lot of people of Lamar Odom, but he's like Lamar Odom before Lamar Odom, they say.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dude is 6'9", playing in high school, and he had point guard skills. So he was getting double and triple teamed every game, and then he was just straight killing it. So he is super high as a prospect.
So he was like that Lamar guy before someone owed him money. Lamar owed
And then
him.
he fucking owed everyone else money because he bought a lot of candy. And they called him the Candy Man, and then he started doing all his drugs and
Oh,
shit.
fuck yeah, he did.
So you said he came out the same draft class as them? So like 96, 98, something like that?
Well, we'll talk about the draft. It's going to end
okay.
up being the 98 draft.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, the problem with him being a high prospect, though, is he was a pretty shitty student grade-wise, although he did end up getting a lot of help and was able to raise his GPA up to a 3.0 eventually. And after dominating once again his senior year, he was averaging 28 and 15.
Damn.
UCLA was looking at him and getting ready to offer him a scholarship. Unfortunately, though, Rico didn't take a page out of Derrick Rose's book, and he tanked on his SATs, so UCLA withdrew the offer.
Fucking dummy.
Yeah.
And he ends up enrolling at Arizona State to play ball under Proposition 48, which means he has to take classes and get a certain GPA in order to be able to remain eligible for sports. But also, he could attend the classes, but he couldn't play his freshman year. So he has to sit out a year.
Oh, okay.
That's bullshit, dude.
Yeah, that sucks.
What did Cardell Jones say, man? I didn't come here to play school, all right? I came here to play ball.
So Rico, he gets depressed super easily, and he was always really shy, and he was never a very social guy. So he starts struggling in Arizona because he has no friends or family around to help him. And then in March of 1996, he and two of his teammates were arrested after two women came forward and said that the three had forced them to have sex against their will. However, the charges would later get dropped because the girls' stories had some inconsistencies.
Ugh.
So Rico, he's the only one of the three that didn't end up getting charged for the sexual assault, but that didn't really help him much with his social anxiety and depression. And even though the charges were dropped, Arizona State asked him to sit out another year for this because of like the bad publicity and stuff, I guess.
Jeez, yeah, that sucks.
So yeah, that sucks, especially when you're going from a top high school prospect to being told like to failing on your test and not making it, and then going to play at another school, but having to sit out a year and then sitting out another year. So Rico, he's now lonely, depressed, and embarrassed. He drops out of Arizona State and he heads back home to play basketball at Los Angeles City College, which is a 2-year community college.
Wow.
So that's like a huge fall for
yeah.
a top high school prospect.
But think of those stats, baby. That's 30 and 15 every night easily.
Yeah, he was killing it. His first season there, though, he leads the team to a state title.
Nice.
So he's killing it. He can hit the three. He can play inside and out. And he's running point guard, too. So he's a really good player. But it was around this time he starts getting heavy into drugs and alcohol. And after his first season, he only had one class he had to pass. And then he was going to transfer east and play at Rhode Island, which is a 4-year university. So he has another chance, actually, you can go play at like a big school. He just has to take one class and pass it. And his one class was a psychology class, which once he got halfway through the semester, he just quit going.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah, and
Christ,
failed
dude.
it.
God damn it.
Dude, psychology's not even that hard.
Yeah. And it's almost as if Harris is like he's afraid to succeed. So like he purposely screws himself over, you know? So because of that, he can't transfer to a 4-year university, and he has to return to the community college for another season.
What an idiot.
I just don't get it. That doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense.
like
He has all
why?
these opportunities. Like, I understand, like, depression and drugs and alcohol, that's not helping, but it's like you keep fucking up every chance you get.
Yeah, as soon as you get a like good chance, you could fucking get over the rest of that stuff.
And the thing is he didn't even want to play at LACC. You could tell he was a million times better than everyone, and it wasn't even a challenge for him. He wanted to be in the NBA, and ever since he was a kid, he said that was his dream. And he was always referred to as having one foot out the door, but nowhere to go. and he began drinking and partying even heavier now, usually drinking with his brother Tito.
Oh my God!
Say hello to your brother Tito for me.
Yes, dude.
So many Adam Sandler references.
Yes.
He was hanging out with Tito so much, and Reggie, and Squid, and Otto, and
Oh yeah. Wait, yeah, because Tito was uncle. It was
what the fuck's her dad's
fucking
name?
Raymundo.
Raymundo, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
Okay.
Raymundo.
The fucking Shore Shack.
Oh yeah.
And this right here doesn't help him either. So he's always partying and drinking. And his brother that he was doing this with, he lived right across the street from the campus. So on one hand, it's nice that he has somebody there because he's always depressed. But it's not helpful when all they do is hang out and drink and do drugs.
Oh yeah.
And they said that Rico, he would wake up with a hangover almost every morning, and he would begin his day by drinking beer. Then right before practice, he'd drink again. And then at night, he would drink to fall asleep.
Jesus.
And this is what one of his former teammates said about him. I'll never forget, we were playing at home, and he came in, and we were already in the layup line, and he got in the warm-up line with black sunglasses on. He probably didn't get no sleep and was up all night, and then he dropped 35.
Damn.
So that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He ain't dropping a 40, I know that.
Oh, fuck no.
Oh yeah.
Not unless
dude.
it's going down his gullet.
That's right.
So, and they said, like, the better that Rico did at basketball, the more and more he drank and sank into his depression. So that's, like, kind of weird. It's like he's getting all this success, but he knows it's not helping him, so he gets even worse in his depression.
Yeah.
Like, the more he drank, the better he got, and also, like, the stronger he got and stuff, until eventually he can throw a football over the mountains.
Just Uncle Rico. How much you want to bet I could throw a football over the mountains? Him fucking tossing that steak. Hey, check this out.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. And they believe that the reason that Rico was like this is the more people appreciated him and liked him, it was usually related to how he was doing at basketball. But Rico thought that nobody would care about him if it wasn't for his ability on the court, and this really bothered him. And that is one reason why he began to isolate himself even more. And then college recruiters, they would still come and visit him, but he didn't care. He would never call them back. He thought that they were just telling him what he thought he wanted to hear. So he bypassed all the four-year colleges that were wanting him, and he decided to enter and apply for the 1998 draft all on his own.
Wow.
So he's like, no, I don't, screw all these four-year colleges and stuff. I'm going to enter the draft from a community college.
Yeah.
And scouts were highly impressed with his game, though. Like, they even invited him out to their premier pre-draft camp in Chicago. So people are still pretty high on him. However, a few days before the pre-draft camp was about to start, he felt as if he wasn't ready, and he pulled his name out of the draft.
Wow, dude.
So just another example of him being afraid to succeed.
He could have easily gone undrafted and got at least a small contract from a team or something.
Like, what's the worst if you go undrafted? Like, can he reapply next year?
I forget the rules for it. I mean, I'm sure he can.
Yeah, I wouldn't say why he wouldn't be able to.
But it's like he keeps sabotaging his own chances.
And he had those awesome numbers, and yeah, it was at a shitty school. But there could be a shitty team that'd be like, okay, give him like a 10-day isn't that like a thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like give him that, let him fucking play in summer league
Maybe
for a
in
little
the D League could have been around then, maybe too.
Yeah.
Something like that.
while. Yeah.
But he ends up enrolling to play at Cal State Northridge. But while he's there, he gets in constant arguments with teammates and coaches. He gets suspended at the beginning of the first season, and then he gets suspended again at the end of the season.
Jeez.
And after his second suspension, the coach called him into the office to reinstate him, but Rico never showed up or went in there.
Oh, my
and he just
God.
completely dropped out of college altogether.
Okay, yeah, this dude at this point is just fucking sabotaging his own life.
I mean, there has to be some sort of like mental
Yeah.
illness going on here as well.
It-
I mean, it sounds like he's got some issues.
He's like afraid
you know?
to succeed. I feel like it can't. That doesn't sound just like a depression to me, though.
Yeah. I mean, with drug use also, alcohol and...
It kind of sounds like he's got a case of the old bubble guts.
The best part about that was to just look at the end and nobody gets to see it but us.
By this time, his NBA chance was completely over. His skill on the court was diminishing, and nobody could take a chance on him. And scouts, they quit coming and checking out his game and his time at college altogether.
His chance in the NBA was over, But what about Chance's shot at the NBA? Wait, am I thinking of the right guy? Chance and
Real and Chance? Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Chance tried out for the NBA?
I thought he did. Didn't he try out for something?
Dude, I don't know. Who
I have
this
no idea. From I Love New York.
Yeah.
and,
All right, I'm gonna look it up.
I
Holy
love.
shit,
Oh
dude.
my
I
god.
swear to God, I was thinking of Homeward Bound.
Real
And
Chance
that's,
of Love.
that's fucked up that I just went to Homeward Bound just because it said Chance. I was just like, wait, is that dog? Is that what you're talking about? Such a good movie.
So scouts, they quit showing up and checking out his game, and Rico, he quit. Never mind. It's just gonna be a joke about him renting the movie He Got Game.
Oh yeah,
So that's it.
that's it.
That's it. Well, thank you all for listening.
And one night during this time, while out in L.A., he gets into an argument with a group of people, and instead of getting in his car and driving away, he gets out and he goes over to confront him. Now, this is a 6'8", 6'9", 300-pound dude, so fuck that. You would have to be an idiot to mess with this guy.
Yeah.
But it was a group of guys, and then one of them sneaks up behind him and smacks him in the back of the head with a baseball bat.
Wow.
So, holy shit. It only takes one hit in the head to fucking completely mess you up forever. Like, it doesn't have to be a bat. Like, you just get punched wrong in a fight, and you could just be fucked up forever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It was like my one buddy Nick who got fucking hit in the face with a shovel and it fucked up his voice and everything in his neck.
Just a little Nicky.
Yeah. Is that what happened to him?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude. I knew it was gonna be a little Nicky.
Jonathan Lipnicki.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Rico, he never goes on to a bigger, better college. He doesn't get drafted. He bounces around a few minor teams, but nothing really exciting. But in spring of 2000, he ends up joining the Harlem Globetrotters
Nice.
for a month.
Did he get paid in candy?
Oh, dude, for real, the Harlem Globetrotters is fucking stupid. You ever watch it? It's so
Yeah.
shitty and not fun to watch. Like, I
Yeah.
understand it's for kids, but it's like, why would you ever, I don't care how much they pay you, why would you ever be the other team?
Did you?
It's bullshit, dude. That team deserves a win once in a while.
Did you understand my paid in candy joke?
No.
It's just from How I Met Your Mother. That was Marshall's dream, is to be a Harlem Globetrotter and be paid in candy.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest, I was still thinking about Little Nicky. I was trying to make a
Holy
Globetrotter
shit,
Little
dude.
Nicky
Oh
joke.
my god, yes, dude. The fucking
He's walking.
Dude,
Get him a bus.
is it one of like the people in the stands like the voice of Homer Simpson?
Oh, I have no
I'm pretty
idea.
sure it is like the one that they show with his wife. I'm pretty sure it's the voice of Homer Simpson.
All right,
Oh my God.
so I have a confession to make.
Yes.
Until just now, I thought the Harlem Globetrotters was a real team.
Well, they're a real team.
What are they?
They're just like basically like a comedy.
It's
Team.
Yeah.
like wrestling.
They just do like tricks and shit, and they never lose ever. Is it the Washington Generals?
Yeah.
It's pretty much, imagine the Generals like car insurance guy. Imagine 5 of those guys playing against like NBA players. It's like they don't have a chance. They fucking lose every single game by like 100 points.
Yeah.
And the whole time, the Globetrotters just make them look like fucking morons.
Right, but this isn't like part of the NBA or anything.
No.
No.
It's kind of like they just, like the circus, how it travels from town to town.
Mm.
Yeah,
They're kind of like that. And I don't know if the opposite team is actually trying, but
I wouldn't
they
think
literally
so.
break the rules
Dude.
and just like throw buckets of like
Yeah.
confetti on people and like
Yeah, there's
dribble stupid fucking
There
ways.
are times.
Okay.
There are times where it looks like they are trying.
Yeah,
though,
it
and I
looks
just
like
feel
they're
bad
like.
for 'em.
I guarantee at
They
one
get pissed.
one point every game, I guarantee that other team is like, "Fuck, we should beat these guys for real."
Yeah, dude.
I bet the Globetrotters back in like the 80s, or was it late 70s when they
You
started?
talking about when they were on Scooby Doo?
Yeah, I swear to God. That's really, I was trying to remember. I was like, when did that come out?
Yeah, I was saying.
But they had to have been entertaining and fun back in the day
when
or
it was,
something.
yeah. Wait, does it still go on now?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
know
yeah.
that.
Do you guys remember the Cleveland Cavalier that was a former Globetrotter
Dude,
that
it
we
was.
had?
Dude, wasn't it JJ Higgson?
No, close.
Oh, fuck.
Jamaria Moon.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Jackie Moon.
He was just semi-pro, right?
Oh, God damn it. It's just that's Will Ferrell's character.
And then, before he even turned 24, his career in basketball was completely over. And I didn't have a spot to add this part in, but on his left arm, he has a tattoo that just says "Ballin' for life," but the 4 is the Roman numeral for 4.
Oh my god!
Fucking,
dude.
that's the shittiest tattoo I've ever heard.
Like ballin'
Dude.
IV life.
Yeah, dude, fuck
The
that tattoo.
only thing that would be better is if it was Roman Reigns for 4 because he's main evented 4 straight WrestleManias.
Oh my god.
And then on his other arm, he was going out to. This is so fucking stupid. It's gonna be like he didn't want to forget his wife's grocery list, and it was gonna be romaine for wife.
Oh god.
I'm sorry.
All right, I was gonna.
That's fucking good.
I thought I was gonna say something stupider than that, but I think you took it. It's when the band Poison came out with their 4th CD, they put in Roman numerals, so it was just Poison Ivy.
Holy shit, man!
They did all this on the set for Batman and Robin.
Just a shit stew.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit, man!
And then they said they wanted to dance like Uma Thurman.
Oh, hell yeah. So, alrighty, now we're going to talk about life after his basketball career. So, with no job, Rico returned home and lived with his mom in Alhambra. He began drinking again and more, and his drug addiction now included heroin, meth, and crack.
Nice.
So, the fucking cocktail of fucking champions.
Yeah. See, here's the thing, though. Like, should it? How the fuck? I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't understand how like addiction goes. But how the fuck do you not realize that those were the things that ruined your life before?
I don't know. Oh, because he was also taking the. Never mind. This is gonna be the pills from Limitless. But no, there's something
the pills
else
from
that he
Limitless?
did too. He would even snort Ajax, which is a cleaning product.
What the fuck? Wait, he didn't die?
And his friend that said this in the documentary is like he only did it just because it would burn, and he wanted to feel it burn. So that's not a fucking good sign.
But I feel like if you drank that would kill you.
Ugh,
But snorting it doesn't. Like,
It's probably a little amount you snort too, though.
I don't know.
Like the amount you snort is probably like literally a teaspoon, maybe. That's still bad.
I feel like that should still kill you.
I don't know, man. That's not good though. And
So he was doing all those drugs at that young of age, and he was almost an NBA guy.
yeah.
So was Khloe Kardashian fucking him before or after this?
Holy shit, dude.
Fuck.
What's his name again?
The one that she was doing?
No, wasn't it the one that was Kim married to? What was the one Kim married to?
No, she was married to Chris
Chris
Humphries.
Chris Humphries. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what it was. Yeah. Boo.
But this is
Humphries.
Lamar
Dude,
Odom. And
not-
what's funny is this guy is constantly compared to Lamar Odom.
Right.
Like,
Oh fuck!
Like
that.
play style. Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was a Tristan Thompson joke.
Oh,
well,
I didn't know.
well, it's about to be. Listen to this in probably like a year and a half.
Let's see, I didn't know about the Lamar Odom thing.
The funniest thing about the Chris Humphries thing is like Chris Humphries like got like a decent year where he averaged, I think it was like 10 and 10, something like that. And then he got like a big contract, and then he started dating Kim. It's like, you
Garbage.
fucking dummy. Why do you think she's shown up? Although, like, shame on her. Like, that's the guy you're gonna go after. The guy making like $5 million a year when like
Yeah.
you can easily fucking snatch Gilbert Arenas' money.
Gilbert Arenas is fucking insane. Holy shit. You ever watch his videos? Like
Dude.
his at Nick Young's house?
Yeah, at the mansion, shooting the
Holy
basketball in the
shit.
trash.
He's fucking insane. He's like just throwing his Nick Young's kids' toys and shit.
Yeah, like just throwing them out of the way and stuff. In one, they were like shooting a basketball in a trash can. And he was talking shit to Nick Young and his son.
Oh my god,
It was
yes.
fucking great.
Nick Young just was swaggy.
Swaggy P, baby.
Yeah, I like Nick Young.
So Rico, he's constantly getting arrested. He was arrested over 100 times.
What?
Wait,
what?
Yeah, mostly for public intoxication.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, he's 6'8". You can't, or 6'8", 6'9". You can't just let that dude pass out in the streets, you know, and back up traffic.
Yeah, or fucking rape everybody outside. I mean, who's stopping him?
And he was also begging in the streets. So things are looking pretty bad for the dude.
Dude, if that dude begged, I would just feel like he was gonna rob me.
I know.
I'm like, yeah.
Fucking take it.
Like, here's my debit card.
I
Here's
start-
my fucking social security number.
Let me write down the pin for you.
But he would end up getting diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Finally.
But he would never take his medication because he said he didn't like how it made him feel. But snorting Ajax, that's
Yeah.
okay. That's fine.
Loves how that feels.
the heroin and
Well, it burns, right? So that's what
That's-
makes it better.
that's true. Finally, though, in 2007, right after he turned 30 years old, he would have an overdose on prescription medicine, and this would be the moment where he decided he actually needed help, and he needed a change. So he enters a rehabilitation facility.
Wow.
So good for him. He cleaning up. And then he gets a job as a security guard. And he met a woman named Jennifer Song. And she was from Seattle, and she was an insurance broker. Seriously, if this guy, whatever this guy's guarding, I'm not going for.
Oh, yeah, fuck that.
I don't
dude.
care
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking with anything this guy's protecting.
Fuck that.
Imagine playing Red Rover with this guy.
Imagine when they say, let him come over.
Everybody just leaves. Nope.
They get out of the way, and he just fucking charges through buildings. He's like the fucking juggernaut.
It's just fucking real life Rampage.
Man, I remember the first time I played Red Rover, and it just blew my mind.
Dude, one time, me and Jason, we were at in Washington, D.C., and we were going through this, I forget what museum it was, but they gave us like 2 hours to do it, and we got done in like an hour. So we were outside with like all these like fourth graders playing Red Rover, but I was sitting on Jason's shoulders, and whenever they would point, we would go fucking blasting over and run through all the kids. It was just like all these little kids and us. But they would they let us play. Like, they would point, and we'd come running over. They'd get all scared and excited. It was fun.
That's awesome.
Good shit.
That's good shit.
So Rico and his girlfriend Jennifer, they started dating in 2012, and then by 2014, he was still clean, and they were talking about getting married. They had a long-distance relationship going on at the time, though. She was living in Seattle, and he was still living at home in California. So he planned to move to Seattle to live with her. And one more note here, during this time, Rico, he was living with a friend. But when he decided to move out to Seattle, he packed his shit up and left his friend with all the unpaid bills.
That's lame.
So that's not very nice.
All right, dude, this isn't funny, dude. This isn't funny, but I feel like maybe you and like Toof might laugh. But is Jennifer's middle name Adams?
Shut up, dude. I traced the cord back to the wall.
This Adams song, her last name's
Oh,
Song.
okay, all right.
Just fucking blink.
Alrighty, now we're going to talk about the disappearance of Rico. So the plan was for him to move to Seattle to live with his girlfriend Jennifer. He had already gotten a Washington-issued driver's license, and he even arranged for a job interview as a property appraiser. And this is the first time that he would be doing something career-wise that wasn't just because of his athletic ability. So he was actually super excited about this.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really impressive move by him, actually, like getting his new license for that state already, packing up to move and arranging a job interview. Because for someone who's been like just a drug addict and depressed and wouldn't ever complete anything, was afraid to succeed, these are some big steps.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Seems like he's actually like got his life straightened out for 1 second.
Before heading out, though, he drove back to his mother's home in Alhambra to see his mom and brother one last time. His girlfriend and a few others stated that they believed he stopped back at his mother's home to get some sort of closure and to assure his mother that she could trust him and that she could believe in him and that she could believe in his and Jennifer's relationship. So I'm kind of confused about his whole reason going back, whether it was just to see them or not, because you see there's like a couple different reasons why, maybe you'll hear. So that night, Rico, he took his brother out to eat, and then he came home to speak with his mother alone. And in an interview, his mother said that she didn't feel as if Rico had gotten what he had wanted out of their last conversation, which all we can really do is speculate what that means. Like, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, this part I read a bunch of. Yeah, I have no idea.
So some sources say that his job interview was for the next day. Some say that it was a few days later. But whatever it was a long-ass drive to get to Seattle from where he was. It was about 17 or 18 hours. And I also want to mention some sources claim that during this time he started getting into drugs again, possibly, and drinking again. There are some sources that leave that out, but I'm not sure how serious his addiction was at this point. You'll hear a little bit about some stuff that was found. Like they find, whenever they search his car, they do find like an empty alcohol bottle, and I think they find a bag that they believe drugs were in at some point. So I don't know how serious it was at this point. So alrighty, anything before you keep going?
Or they found an empty bag of Andy caps, and that's because I was in the car. Just one of those cheddar fries.
I'm going straight to my theory. Oh,
When they were searching him, the one cop was like, "You've got pot,
Don't ya?
you?
I'm
confiscating this. This too."
I took my fucking handicaps.
I'm going straight to my theory.
We haven't even talked about him disappearing yet.
I think that he met the devil on his way there, and he challenged him to a basketball game on a long and lonesome road. And he said, "Okay." And he snorted the first thing that came to his hand, just so happened to be a can of fucking Ajax. God, that's the dumbest fucking thing ever.
And on October 9th, which is either the night of the 9th or the morning of the 10th, he got into his black Nissan and he headed out towards Seattle. And it doesn't sound like he got any sleep either because he left around 1 a.m. So that's a super long fucking drive on no sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, so he was sleepless in Seattle?
He was,
He
well.
didn't make it there.
Yeah,
but
say if he would have made it there, he would have. Hey, sleepless in Seattle. Cable guy.
It's such a good movie.
Actually, it was reported that he was said to have been awake for almost 30 hours.
Jesus.
And his mother urged him to stay and rest some, but he ended up heading out.
What the fuck,
Tim,
man?
have you heard the story of Brian Kendrick driving from like fucking California to New York for like a wrestling gig? And he like just fucking jacked off constantly to try and keep awake or something like that.
God, yes, that's the best way to do it.
Dude, I'll fucking
Even
send it
actually,
to you.
wait, no, I feel like it's not. I was gonna say, I feel like I'd be awake during the jerking process, but at the end I might fall asleep.
It was like
constantly tease
I think it was like during one of the kayfabe commentaries, but yeah, he was talking about like he was driving and he'd like jack off to stay awake.
Nice.
And that morning, he called and spoke to his mother around 9:30 a.m. as he was passing through Sacramento. And then he called and left a voicemail with his girlfriend around 10:45 a.m. And as we mentioned earlier, this would be the last time anyone had officially heard from him. And his black Nissan that he was driving would be found Monday at Yolo County's Cache Creek Regional Park on State Route 16. So that's in Yolo County. So if anyone has any
Holy
YOLO
shit,
jokes,
man.
please, if you have any and they're actually good, just this is the only time you're allowed to crack one, but never again. So if you have a YOLO joke, get it out.
I like to play with my YOLO. I like to walk the dog.
All right, that's it. Moving on.
No, I got one.
That
I got
was
one.
it. You had one.
One per person.
Nope, it was one total.
Our podcast is so fucking unfunny. You only laugh once.
Okay. All right.
Unless Andrew's on.
All right. So a deputy, he spots the car here on Monday. He didn't think a whole lot about it at the time until the next day he saw it in the exact same spot. So he called in to check the plates and see what the deal was. And this is about an hour or so north of Sacramento. And the deputy, he checks the registration, and he saw that Harris hadn't been heard from since October 10th. And this was now October 13th, or possibly the 14th. So he's been missing for like 3 or 4 days, but I don't think he's been reported as missing yet.
I don't know if you talk about it, but was the car broken down, or did he ever check it, or is that later?
The gas tank is empty, and the battery's dead.
Oh, okay.
And not only that, but the interior of the car was ransacked and thrown all about. There were like CDs and papers all over. And at first glance, it would appear like maybe somebody had stolen from the car, but his wallet and almost all of his credit cards were in there.
What CDs were they? Did they ever say?
Yeah, I think,
Because if Creed Mile in Prison was in there, we know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that one's on there.
It's
not.
2004, so there's definitely a juvenile CD in
Oh
there.
my god! Then we definitely know what happened.
Oh my God.
He just got
dude,
pissed off and he fucking ripped his own car up and killed himself.
The only thing missing were his Washington driver's license and a Discover card. However, records will show that his Discover card to this day had never been used since he disappeared.
So they never discovered it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck off.
He got the giggle I needed to get.
So they weren't masters at finding cars.
They weren't.
And at first I thought maybe he just skipped out for a day or two because he used to do that sometimes. Like he would disappear for a little bit, even earning him the nickname Houdini to some of his friends.
Even earning the nickname John Cena.
So he was known to disappear sometimes. Some sources say for a day or two, some say for just like a few hours, so I don't know. But it seems especially weird when they learn that he ends up missing his job interview, and then he was soon reported and made a missing person. His girlfriend also mentioned that Rico had stated that he wanted to originally drive up to the mountains just to unwind a bit and relax as well, but she told him not to do that because there's no cell service and it could be dangerous, and if anything happened to him, he wouldn't be able to contact anyone.
Does that sound kind of weird and creepy? Like, who the fuck would ever want to do that?
And there was a search of the surrounding terrain of the Cache Creek Canyon. Search and rescue teams with dogs would look in the area as well as the creek and everywhere else within a 5-mile radius of the parking lot. So they had dogs, ATVs, helicopters. They even drove as far as 27 miles on Route 16 through the canyon to find him, but they found nothing. And like we said, this is a 6'8", 6'9", 300-pound guy.
Shouldn't be that hard to find.
So it's not like he can just fucking blend in.
He went up to the woods to unwind. Local hunters thought he was a Sam Squanch and shot him and killed him.
All right.
It is in the Pacific Northwest. It could have happened, man. Fucking D.B. Cooper could have taken him out.
He could have. If he wasn't fucking doing the fucking caddy murders.
And during this time, a family noticed that there was a backpack and a phone sitting out next to a guardrail about 1 to 2 miles south of the park. So this is, I believe, a couple days after. And these both belonged to Rico. The phone's battery was dead, and also in the backpack were jumper cables, some clothing, and 2 bottles of alcohol and an energy drink.
Oh, shit.
And I'm not sure if the alcohol was empty or full, or if one was empty, one was full. I have no idea. And the phone had some weird videos on it, though. They appeared to have been recorded by accident. Like, the phone was sitting on the armrest, I think, and it was just facing upwards toward the dome light. So the videos just show him appearing to have a good time. He's like singing, listening to music, and then he's tossing things around in his car. So that's why all that stuff was all over his car.
Dude, who the fuck accidentally records videos?
I don't know. That's weird, though.
So I've never accidentally recorded a video, like, ever.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Because most of the time you just find me jerking off. Or just watching The Office or How I Met Your Mother. I mean, there's not that much going on.
And also on the phone, there were pictures he took of himself at the creek where he's in, they call it playful poses. So he's just like taking like selfies and pictures of him at this place too.
Nice.
And all the pictures and videos were time-stamped for October 10th. So that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Like to have all that shit found.
Yeah.
And there were also sightings of Rico. 2 motorists reported seeing somebody fitting his description, which I don't see too many people resembling this big-ass dude unless, like, fucking Andre the Giant or Bigfoot was cruising by.
Or Shaq.
And the 2 said that they saw him on October 11th, which is a full day after his disappearance, and they said that he was walking along the road and then sitting on a guardrail about 2 miles from the parking lot. So this is where his backpack and phone would be found.
Okay, so that actually probably was true.
And then this part is really weird. This is 4 days after the initial search started. A deputy found tracks in the sand by the creek at around noon, and they weren't there earlier. The tracks couldn't have been made by an animal either because they were big-ass tracks, and they were believed to have been made by Harris because it was a size 18 shoe.
Oh, damn.
So those weren't there when they originally searched.
I see the lines in the sand.
Time to find out who I am.
And according to one source on this particular sighting, it was October 18th, which is 8 days after he went missing. So some say 4 days, some say 8 or between. So this shoe print was found either 4 to 8 days after he went missing.
Wow.
Some say 4, some say 8. Is this me telling girls my penis size online?
Why would you start off with 4? Why would you tell someone?
I start with 8, then they ask for a picture.
So October 18th, 8 days after he went missing, the reported sighting was of a large man wearing light-colored pants, which is what he was wearing when he left his mother's house. And then after this sighting, that's when they searched the area and found that 18 shoe print that was leading from the parking lot to the creek area. So if that's true, that means that he disappeared for around 8 days, 4 to 8 days, depending on the sources.
Yeah.
And then he possibly tried coming back to his car and then left again.
Wow.
And the same day, a driver noticed a large individual walking along State Route 16. Although he said he didn't learn the gender and he couldn't make out what he was wearing because he noticed this from a distance.
He didn't want to assume the gender.
He didn't want to.
Oh, this wasn't right now. Never mind. Sorry.
So they sent out more dogs. They sent 10 groups of cadaver dogs just in case he was dead somewhere. They sent divers, but they still couldn't find him or any more clues.
No, I was just thinking, like, something that sucks. Like, I was thinking, like, why didn't you just hitchhike? The hell? Not even, like, racist or anything about it, but, like, imagine just being a black guy trying to hitchhike. Like, half the people are already fucking racist. They're not even going to pick you up. It probably just sucks.
Especially if you're almost 7 foot tall.
Yeah. They're probably thinking, like,
I'm not. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
no one's going to. It's going to be like,
Yeah.
fuck.
I mean,
So
that
hitchhiking-
has nothing to do with color. Fuck that. I'm not doing that. I don't give a fuck what he looks like, what color. If you're that tall, that big,
Yeah.
I'm not picking your ass up.
Yeah, I'm not picking up any hitchhikers unless it's like a girl. I'm just joking.
Kevin Bundy.
That's right.
So they look at his phone records, they search hundreds of texts, they interview his friends and family, and still nothing. There's no sign of struggle or evidence of a crime. It's like he just completely vanished. Some believe that he eventually got picked up after returning to the car, but then something bad ended up happening to him. Or maybe he just wandered far off into the wilderness and died. He was operating on no sleep and having been up possibly for at least 30 hours, maybe back on drugs. He was drinking again.
Some kind of like hallucination or something, maybe? Or
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe he was completely fucked up from the drugs, drinking and lack of sleep. All that combined is not good.
I feel like it should be something that would eventually wear off, though. Like for this happened like that, unless you just got really lost.
If he's, like, a big guy and he's hallucinating, kind of going crazy a little bit, and, I mean, if he's a 7 foot tall guy with jumper cables, maybe he was going to attach him to Shane McMahon's nuts.
Oh my God, yeah. Fuck yes, dude.
Maybe.
Kane.
Who knows?
I love it, dude. I love it, Kane.
But we'll talk about it a little bit, but his car does get towed after a couple days. So when they see the shoe print, some people think that he possibly hitchhiked or walked away for a couple days and maybe get gas or get help. And then when he made his way back, he saw his car was towed, and he's like, what the fuck? So he walked off again, and maybe that was what happened to him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that doesn't explain what happened to him.
No.
And then they
Nothing does.
suggest, like, well, we'll talk a little bit more in a minute. So another theory is that possibly he left to start a new life somewhere else, but I don't really see him hiding incognito somewhere without anyone noticing, unless he happened to make it all the way to the Cyclops Island, taken out
yes.
Polyphemus, and then stolen his identity.
Oh yes, dude.
But I doubt it.
Fuck
That's so
yes.
stupid.
He can scream that nobody
said.
is killing him.
I am nobody.
Nobody is killing me.
Nobody. So all we know is that deputies and investigators, they've ruled out foul play. They believe that based on the photos and video evidence, and that Rico came to the park alone and of his own free will, and they just don't believe that there were any struggles in this, which I think that's a good, fair assessment. And I'm not sure why he left his backpack and phone. Maybe it was an accident, or maybe he didn't want to be tracked. I believe his mother said he treated his backpack like it was super important, and he would never leave it behind, so he would always carry it with him.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
No. Well, I know it sounds weird, but a lot of athletes don't leave their backpack anywhere. Like they.
No, that makes sense. Him
Oh.
leaving.
Oh, you mean him leaving that there? Yeah, I don't know.
Him leaving it makes no sense.
Especially if he was seen there with it, seen at that guardrail with that in his phone. Why would he just leave those?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there was the water right there, unless he jumped into the water from right there. But they sent out all these cadaver dogs.
Yeah. I feel like this dude's not gonna, sink and not be seen.
I wonder if every time someone tried to pick this guy up from a hitchhiker, he always gave him this speech. Someone asked me once if I knew the difference between a civilian and a citizen. It's Rico from Starship Troopers.
Yeah, dude. I feel like Starship Troopers comes up so much, and I haven't seen that in so long.
Hell yeah. And I say, kill them all. And they believe that he took the jumper cables with him to possibly show somebody that he needed his car jumped so that they could trust him. Because if he just came up, he's like, hey, man, I have car problems. Could you help me out?
Yeah,
They'd probably be like, holy shit, I'm not helping this fucking
fuck
giant
that,
out.
dude,
But if
yeah.
he had the jumper cables with him, he'd be like, I just need this car jumped. If you could help me. He thought maybe that would be a reason why taking it.
That makes sense.
And yeah, they also believe that he probably went looking for a gas station, got lost, and then upon returning, he saw his car towed, so he left again, this time getting lost for good, and then eventually dying in the wilderness. And then after October 19th, there were no more sightings of him ever again.
Wow.
The end.
Lucky for him, he didn't get his car frogged.
What was that?
Car towed.
Oh my god, dude.
Holy shit, dude. Holy crap, man.
Oh my
Jeez. Toof, have you become a father since last time I saw you? The fucking dad joke right there.
And that's everything we have on this case. I do have some more miscellaneous notes I'll read after this, but what are your guys' theories and what do you think happened? Because it's I don't know. It's a big dude to fucking go missing.
Okay, I lost track. Which state was the car found in?
California, an hour north of Sacramento, I think.
And he left from...
He was in California when he left.
Yeah. So he really didn't make it all that far.
No, I'm not sure how many hours. Well, I think he drove 8 or 9 hours. No, he probably drove like 10 or 11 hours or so.
Okay, so he definitely... But at that point, he could have definitely just been from sleep. Like loss of sleep, he could just been hallucinating from then, you know?
Yeah.
If he was drinking, doing drugs, yeah, that could do something crazy, and I don't know what that could make him do. I guess, yeah, that could explain, like, why he walked off and got so far. I don't know how the fuck he had the energy to do it.
I mean...
it just sucks that he got so far, and it just didn't even matter.
Unless the energy drink they found in his backpack was a Red Bull Cola, then I would understand. No, like I definitely think whatever it was, lack of sleep, drugs and stuff, I definitely think he wandered off and to try to find help and then came back, saw his car was gone and then tried to make it off on his own again. But
yeah, that
but if he died somewhere in the wilderness, you'd think something or someone would have found it by
like, where
now.
the fuck is he? Yeah. Because all that makes sense until you just try to find out where the fuck he's at now.
Yeah.
You see, you guys are missing some important facts here. Yeah. Little thing is, he wanted to go on top of the mountains,
right,
to clear his head, right?
Totally.
So when your
the air's cleaner.
When your car's broke down and your phone's dead and no one's gonna pick you up and your car's gone now, you got to clear your head big time, right?
Right. And the air is clearer up there.
He went up to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Where he thought he had energy, you know, when you're all fucking adrenaline fucked up, you have energy. He passed out in the mountain. Everyone's looking on the ground floor. Divers, people searching the woods and everything for footprints and everything. Yeah. No one's looking at the skies.
No, they never do.
He dies on the mountain. The vultures pick his bones clean and scatter them.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's it.
Mike,
that's actually a form of burial with some Indian tribes. Is they'll dispose of the dead person's body by leaving them on a mountain and having the vultures pick the bones clean.
Yeah, but that's only if they get to the bodies before we do. I'm sorry, I'm just joking.
But no, I mean, I actually feel like that could be something.
They did send a helicopter though too.
Well, that's very much in the skies.
Go ahead and Toof say it.
That's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
Oh, fuck off, Toof. Myth busted.
Any other theories or anything before I go over some of this random stuff?
I had one until Toof's amazing theory, and then I forgot it.
Is it about D.B. Cooper?
No, unfortunately. It's that but the car was just, the battery was dead, that's all?
The battery's dead, and it was out of gas.
So it didn't hit anything. Yeah, but you know what? After he got out of it, here's my theory. He fell down and he hit his head, and he got amnesia. Ooh. And then he went up to the top of the mountain, and he screamed, "Who am I?" If you've ever seen that Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
And then he just couldn't remember who he was the whole time, and he just was confused and dazed and and so forth, and then it was a sad end.
Yeah.
You know what else he yelled on top of that mountain?
I used to be Delonte West.
No.
Oh my God.
Toof, you know what he yelled? Ricola. I was trying to set you up for that one, Toof.
Oh yeah. You dick.
So alrighty, so here's some random notes about this case that I didn't know where to throw in. Some say that Jennifer's song makes the relationship sound like it was a lot better than it was. Friends and family say that there was definitely problems there, but after he goes missing, she kind of acts like it wasn't. I don't know if there's any... I don't know what that means. I don't know how that would change anything, like, knowing that. Because, I mean, I really don't think she, like, had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't...
Yeah, she seems like a girl
What'd she do? Put a hole in the gas tank?
Or peed in the gas tank, Jeremiah?
Toof.
Would she fucking hire you to go...
Toof, was it you? Was this you, Toof?
She used one of those little lady pee funnels that you can take camping.
Yeah, we use that to pour iced tea through.
And then Ice Cube.
But that day she was just eating a lot of dairy, so she just put it in her butthole.
But some do think it's weird that Rico, he disappeared on Friday, but she didn't file a missing persons report until Tuesday.
She was watching Friday.
She was watching Friday, next Friday.
Yeah, she's watched all three. It takes a while.
Maybe she was thinking about filing the police report the Friday after next.
But she said the reason she did this is because she talked to his mother, and they agreed to wait a few days just in case. So some people think that's really suspicious. I don't really put too much into it, only because they said he was known to disappear
they wandered
sometimes.
Off a bunch. Yeah, they didn't want him to get in trouble.
So they called him Houdini. He got that nickname. So I don't see anything. I mean, yeah, it makes sense to file it as soon as you can, but it wasn't unheard of for him to wander off sometimes.
He was also known for performing Houdinis.
Okay, I know it's a sex act, but what is it?
Is that where you're fucking her doggy style and you come on her back and run out the room?
I don't.
Oh, no, it's where, I think it's the one where you're fucking her from behind, and you have a buddy who's like hiding in the closet. He comes out and puts it in her and fucks her from behind while you go outside and wave to her through the window or something like that.
Yeah, I always wondered, dude, because like I always wondered what's happening. Like where like me and Tube beginning on, I look and he's waving at me from the window. And I was wondering, and then I turned back around. There's nobody there.
I'm nobody, and you found him.
Well, no, it's weird because we had just watched Paranormal Activity. That's not even funny.
My joke, I don't think he landed.
Getting fucked by a demon.
My joke,
it did land. It did land. The
Rico is nobody. You found him.
Is that the Odyssey or the Idiot? Which one?
Odyssey.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
If he survived for a long time in the woods, man, he's pretty tough and rough, man. You can almost say he's Rico's Roughnecks.
And another thing, Rico, he also had a falling out with some friends and family recently as well. And it was believed that he probably was back on drugs. Some stated that Rico told them he had some doubts about moving to Seattle, and right before leaving, he thought about just completely calling it off. In one theory, they believe that possibly he stopped at the park to relax, maybe try to buy or do drugs, just get some time alone to himself to think. And one investigator went to a nearby place called Redbud Park, and it's a place where a lot of homeless and crackheads and drug addicts stay and live. And many people there claim they saw him. And one guy there even claimed that his friend sold him meth. And then afterwards, he headed down to the creek. So maybe he fell into the creek. Well, I don't know. I mean,
find them.
Who knows if they're telling the truth or not? You're asking a bunch of crackheads and meth heads and shit.
And it turned out it was Dawson's Creek.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I don't want to wait. And then one final note here, just a little story. One time while Rico, he was out, he was drunk, and he got arrested and thrown into the drunk tank. And while he was being held there, he noticed a familiar face of another drunk that was in there with him. He got closer, he looked him over, and realized that it was his father, Henry.
Damn.
Henry had no idea that was his son.
Holy
Never
shit.
even realized that was his son in there with him.
Jesus.
So, but yeah.
The 6'9" guy who's fucking been his father for 17 years. Who's this guy?
He was such a good dude, though.
Ewing? That's
Oh my gosh, Patrick. Dude, his dad was a great fucking dude.
His dad's like, holy shit, God is real. Ewing. He came to break me out. That was my exact prayer, was that Patrick Ewing would come break me out.
Dude, that goes along with my fucking Space Jam jokes.
It's not even in New York, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I do have another theory. He was trying to head as far northwest as he could. So he got disorientated and headed as far south. Is that the right word? Disoriented. And he started heading as far southeast as he could. And he found his true calling, where he ended up in Puerto Rico.
That was pretty good. I like that.
Actually, I think my favorite theory, now I'm sticking with this, I like the Space Jam theory.
I do too. That's possible.
I liked how they got him. They put his talents in the basketball. Maybe they accidentally took like his whole body and he went up to Moron Mountain and never came back. Makes sense to me.
Maybe he just got a name changed and got drafted in the 2004 draft to the Cavs, Luka Jackson.
Holy shit, dude.
Back to your theory, though, Tim. I just did a lot of research on it, and that did happen. But before he went up there, it was just titled Mountain. I'm just joking.
Dude, no. Actually, straight up, though, this dude was so fucked up ruining his life, they could have let him go home and he would have stayed.
Yeah.
So that might have been what happened.
So Space Jam
So
theory.
he's the one that's doing the shows every night and not Michael?
You'll play basketball and you'll lose.
He's losing to all the kids. All right, dude. I think this is what happened.
He would still beat us, though. We're like, what the fuck? This is rigged, man.
How are you blocking us, but that fucking 3-year-old just beat me? In you.
So, alrighty. Anything else before Spence does our closing shit?
All right, brother nuts. It is the end of another podcast, and we thank you for listening. We love all you fans, and if you'd like to help the podcast, here's a couple ways you can do it. You can check us out on social media. We have a Twitter. We have a Facebook. We have a website. We're part of the Murderly Network, but you can find us at brotherscommon.place. Please send us some feedback. Talk to us on Facebook, Twitter, or you can send us an email at brotherscommonplace@gmail.com by email. Please leave us a rating or a review wherever you get podcasts, iTunes especially, but also there's CastBox for Android and a bunch of other options out there. And leave us a review and a rating, a 5-star rating especially is we always appreciate those. And take a screenshot of it and send it to us, and then we'll know that you did, and we'll make you the honorary brother of the week.
Hell yeah, and special thanks to everyone that has already left us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you haven't yet, it would mean the world to us if you would. It would really help us out, and it means the absolute good to us. It means a lot to us. And a special shout out to Daniel from Australia. Haven't heard from you in a while, brother. Hope you're doing well.
Daniel's
the shit.
And if anyone out there leaves us a review and they're in a podcast, let us know the name of your podcast. We'll give you a listen, we'll subscribe, and give you a 5-star review right back.
So Toof and I, who's in first will be at the end here. So I love that we got a request for that. And I think it'd actually be pretty cool to have one of our honorary brothers, or somebody that wasn't an honorary brother, just somebody, just send us a request and think of their own, something that they want, Toof and I to do, or Kevin and Spence, or make Andrew show up and do it, or, we can bring back, Robin Williams from the dead and he'll do one with us or whatever. But, so somebody sent us a request. I like that idea because, we didn't pick, who was on first, but I thought that was a great idea. So anybody else have any ideas on stuff they want us to do? Send them out. Give us a 5-star review though, or we won't do that shit. Fuck you guys.
Alrighty, Toof, you got some words of wisdom, brother?
Me and Spencer got tired of coding all these websites, all these like nasty porno websites. So we just decided to I'll ask some administrators of this one website I frequent quite a bit, if I can just throw a couple of brothers videos up there. And they said, well, you got to do some original content submissions too, not just podcast stuff. But we'll put them on there. So I put some videos up there. Me and Spencer had to film some stuff, which I'm not very proud of. But
yeah, we did our best though.
Yeah, and we put some brothers videos up there too, and the website's called Make a Piss Foundation.
Yeah. Holy shit! All right.
Specializing in golden showers.
Yep, making your dreams come true, one soggy diaper at a time.
Alrighty, thank you everyone for listening. Be good.
Stay safe.
Laugh the dark stuff. #.
Wild man.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Shut her down.
#wild man. #thank you, Mark.
#pretzel.
#Balsniak Insomniac.
#Thanos did nothing wrong.
Your boy's been reading Flowers in the Attic, so your boy's been ejaculating.
Oh, fucking shit. There's rain in that book.
#wild dog.
Strange as it may seem, they give ball players nowadays very peculiar names.
Funny names?
Nicknames. Now on St. Louis team we have who's on first, what's on second, I know who's on third.
That's what I want to find out. I want you to tell me the names of the fellows on the St. Louis team.
I'm telling you, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third.
You know the fellows' names.
Yes.
Well, then who's playing first?
Yes.
I mean, the fellow's name on first base.
Who?
The fellow playing first base.
Who?
The guy on first base.
Who was on first?
Well, what are you asking me for?
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you who is on first.
I'm asking you, who's on first?
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
The need for skilled medical assistants is growing. Bryant and Stratton College graduates are uniquely prepared to enjoy lasting careers as medical assistants in private practices, hospitals, nursing homes, clinics, or government agencies. And we offer students personalized attention, technical skills, and professional contacts. Classes start soon. Take the first step today at bryantstratton.edu. Bryant and Stratton College, for every and in life.
For important program information and disclosures, please visit our website at bryantstratton.edu/disclosures.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see you at practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.